When life brings you an unexpected physical moment, whether it is a diagnosis, a flare in your body, or a sudden shift in how you feel, it is natural to think something has gone wrong in your energy. People immediately jump to the idea that they must have slipped or fallen away from their alignment. But the truth is far more gentle than the fear that rises in the mind. Nothing went wrong. Nothing collapsed. Nothing suddenly snapped in your vibration. What actually happened is that your emotional guidance system has been trying to speak to you for a while, and you simply became used to the feeling of emotional discomfort that was sitting underneath your daily life. When you become used to a feeling, even if it is a feeling that is slightly off, it stops getting your attention. It blends into the background of your days. It becomes normal. And when emotional guidance becomes normal instead of informative, the body becomes the next messenger, not as punishment, not as warning, but as clarity. The body is not the enemy, does not betray you or punish you, simply speaks the message you did not hear emotionally. When something physical appears, it is an indicator that something in your vibration has been active long enough and consistently enough that the universe is offering you a more noticeable way to realign. It is like a louder signal that says you are ready to understand yourself at a deeper level. This is not the universe being unkind. It is the universe believing you are ready for clarity you did not have before. Most people think resistance has to feel dramatic to matter. They assume resistance looks like fear or anger or despair. But the real truth is that resistance is often much quieter. It hides inside guilt that lingers beneath the surface of your day. It hides inside irritation towards someone you deal with often. It hides inside the pressure to have more money or more time or more security than you do right now. It hides inside the constant thought that you should already be further along. These emotions are small, but they are repetitive. And repetition matters far more than intensity. When a small emotion repeats daily, even lightly, it becomes a steady vibration. And a steady vibration creates momentum. Human beings adapt quickly. You adjust to emotions the same way you adjust to the temperature in a room. After a while, you stop noticing what feels off because it becomes familiar. You learn to function around it. You learn to push through it. You learn to cope with it. But coping is not alignment. Coping is simply getting used to the sensation of being slightly out of balance. And when you are used to being slightly out of balance, you do not immediately feel the guidance coming from your inner being. You do not feel the early emotional indicators because you are used to the emotional tone that is creating them. So life brings a louder indicator. Not because you are wrong, but because you are ready. Alignment is not a straight line. It is not a perfect emotional performance. It is simply the natural relationship between you now and the version of you that your inner being already knows. When your desires expand, your inner being moves ahead of you immediately. Your expanded self is always calling you forward. But if your emotional habits have not caught up to that expansion, you feel the distance between who you are being and who you are becoming. That distance can feel like tension. But if you ignore that tension long enough, the body begins reflecting it. The body always tells the truth of your practiced vibration. And that truth is not meant to scare you. It is meant to help you recognize that something wants to shift. Many people do not realize how much guilt they carry, or how often they feel resentment towards situations they have accepted but have not made peace with, or how much inner pressure they place on themselves to hold everything together, or how much shame sits underneath their efforts to appear fine. These emotions do not need to be extreme to matter. If they repeat often, they shape the vibration you live from. And when you no longer feel the difference between ease and tension, the universe helps you reconnect by giving you a version of contrast that is easier to notice. This is why meditation becomes so important. Not because meditation fixes anything. Meditation is not meant to solve your problems. Meditation is the practice that allows your mind to quiet long enough for you to feel the baseline of peace that exists underneath your thoughts. When you quiet your mind, you release resistance automatically, because resistance is always tied to thought. When thought slows, resistance softens. When resistance softens, your natural alignment rises. When alignment rises, you begin to feel the difference between what is you and what is not you. You feel clarity instead of confusion. You feel calm instead of pressure. You feel softness instead of guilt. Emotional sensitivity returns. And with that sensitivity, you begin to catch your indicators early again. People think emotional sensitivity means being fragile, but it is actually the opposite. Emotional sensitivity is your greatest strength because it helps you course correct before your vibration gathers enough momentum to manifest physically. When you feel early, you adjust early. When you adjust early, the body does not need to get involved. The moment you begin noticing your emotions with curiosity instead of fear, you return to your natural alignment. Many people today live in a world of constant stimulation and distraction. Phones, conversations, expectations, responsibilities. It becomes easy to stop noticing how you feel. You move through your day doing what needs to be done without pausing long enough to sense the emotional quality of your inner world. You get used to being on autopilot. You get used to getting things done. You get used to the race. But alignment is not found in the race. Alignment is found in the quiet moments when you actually ask yourself how you feel and give yourself time to listen. Your inner being never shouts at you. Guidance never demands. It is always gentle, always peaceful, always stable. So when your life becomes too loud, the soft guidance of your inner being gets drowned out. It's not because it is gone, but because you are not tuned to the frequency where it is clearest. Sometimes the only way to get your attention is through a sensation that is louder than your mental noise. That is why a physical moment can feel sudden, but it was simply the next available way for your guidance to reach you. The beauty of all of this is that the moment you understand what is happening, the momentum begins to shift. The body is not locked. The manifestation is not permanent. The condition is not a sentence. It is just a reflection. And reflections change the moment the light changes. When you soften your focus, when you relax your emotional habits, when you become curious about what you have been carrying, your vibration adjusts. And as your vibration adjusts, your indicators adjust too. Change always begins within your inner world. It does not require force. It does not require pressure. It requires awareness. There is a powerful truth at the center of all of Abraham's teachings. You are meant to feel good, not perfect, not enlightened, not detached from your emotions. It's just good. Good is your natural frequency. Good is your home base. Good is your clarity. When life pulls you away from that feeling, emotional guidance shows you the way back. And when you do not hear the emotional guidance, the physical indicators help you return. Everything in your experience is supporting your alignment. The most important thing you can do is not to fear your indicators. They are simply information. They show you what you have normalized and what your inner being no longer wants you to carry. When you begin making small choices that feel like relief instead of pressure, your life recalibrates. When you choose to think thoughts that feel kinder, your vibration lifts. When you stop judging yourself for not being aligned every second, you allow ease to return. Alignment is not a performance. It is a relationship. It's a relationship with your own inner being, with the part of you that already knows who you are becoming, and with the version of you that is already living the life you desire. It's the moment you choose awareness over fear, softness over tension, presence over autopilot. You begin remembering what alignment feels like. You begin noticing the difference between the voice of your inner being and the noise of your environment. You begin feeling your emotions with clarity instead of confusion. And as your emotional world clears, your physical world follows. Your body listens to your vibration. Your circumstances respond to your vibration. Your future unfolds based on your vibration. And alignment is always available the moment you tune in to how you feel and allow your guidance to become visible again. Nothing in your experience is working against you. Everything is helping you find your way back to yourself. And once you feel that, once you recognize that every indicator is a messenger, you stop fearing the contrast and start appreciating the clarity it offers. Life becomes softer. Your body becomes an ally. Your emotions become teachers. Your alignment becomes the natural state you return to again and again. Not through force, but through remembering that the path back to yourself has always been open.